And it's a final between the Bucks and the Raptors on the 17th of January. The Bucks win 130 to 122. Welcome back to the Bart Winkler Show. One of the things that we started talking about throughout the week and then on this episode as well was regular season basketball. And what's the point of it? Is it relevant? How meaningful is it? And I think to go on what we were saying the last few days, you get to a game like tonight where Giannis is once again out, and the Bucks don't play now until Saturday. So maybe there's some reasoning behind that. Or one of the other things is his knee could be hurt, and we're just like, no one thinks that it is. We see knee soreness, we're like, oh yeah, right. Then it's 4 games, and we're like, he's just milking it. If he's out Saturday again, then someone's got to figure out what's going on because he might actually be hurt. But tonight, I mean, if I paid tonight, I was like, I want my kid to see Giannis, and I need this, and I need that. I go to tonight's game, and I'm like, wow, that was awesome. What a thrilling game between the Bucks and the Raptors, two teams that have, battled each other in the past in big moments. The Raptors I used to despise more than anybody during that run. No, I mean, Fred VanVleet still pisses me off when he makes shots that shouldn't go in, but for the most part, the Raptors don't move the needle much for me. But a big win for the Bucks. Earlier in the episode, Hot Take Jake, I did play your voicemail.
Really?
Yes. I played
You already played it?
Well, I taped the beginning, and now we're in the whatever.
Well,
so
good.
If you're listening via the podcast, Jake left a voicemail saying he's 100% on board with Matt in the Falls.
That's my guy right there.
For Giannis not playing. No Giannis tonight, no Chris still. Middleton practiced with the hurt today. So did Beauchamp, which is maybe why he didn't play. But it was still a thrilling game without it.
I think Chris is like Kaiser Soze. He's like a figment of our imagination. I don't think he was ever real,
We looked at like Chris Webber.
Yeah.
Kate
in the
Middleton.
Middle, a 2-ton limit. Yeah, I can totally see that.
G-League, All-Star.
Maybe Middleton was just the friends we made along the way.
I think he might play Saturday.
I don't know. I hear that knee soreness is really flaring up again. It's going around.
So I think your quote earlier was Giannis and these guys need to rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, at the risk of sounding like a bitter old dude, which I guess I'm turning into. You know how I know I'm old? It's not that I don't like today's music. I literally don't understand it. Like, I don't know what's happening when I hear today's music. I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah.
But no,
bad.
I something needs to be done. I said it in the voicemail. At 40 years old, Michael fucking Jordan playing for the Wizards, alongside of probably, Anthony Peeler, and I don't even remember who else was on that team, probably Popeye Jones or some other scrubs, led the league in minutes, did not miss a game. So I have no sympathy for quote unquote knee soreness.
Well, what about on a night like tonight where, I mean, if this did anything, it gave Drew the ability to step up. Drew had a massive night tonight. 37 for Drew.
Well, that's great, but
Grayson, your guy Grayson at 25.
Of course, that was great to see, and I'm happy for those guys. But I don't care. Giannis is the franchise. That's who should be playing. Like, I thought Giannis. They talk about how, what do they call it, the Mamba mentality. I don't know. If he's actually hurt, I feel bad. But if he's actually hurt, then maybe he needs to take a look in the mirror, because there's something I was thinking about today. And Giannis's biggest, or one of his greatest, character flaws is also a positive, in that he's so loyal. And it's to the point where he'll be loyal to, even if it's hurting himself. He's so loyal to Greece, a country that, tried to deport him several times. It doesn't give a shit about him until he got famous. And he still goes and plays every summer for them.
So is Middleton?
They held his
are you talking about Middleton here?
I'm talking about Giannis.
Yeah, but is Giannis too loyal to mids?
Probably, because even worse than playing for a country that didn't care if you were alive or dead, and that tried to deport you and held your family hostage. Even worse, he tried to get Jason Kidd to save his job.
I got some comments coming in. Jason says, "What's this guy talking about?"
Well, fucking
Jerry
open
says-
your ears, Jason. Jesus.
Jerry says, "What's wrong with fans? Who cares if Giannis misses games? It's about being healthy for the playoffs. The crying about this daily is tiring."
Okay,
It's
so
been
you're
2
telling
days.
me
Our show's talked about it for 2 days.
if game seven,
Don't do that to me.
no,
It's
if
2
game
days.
7 last year
I can
was
have a
in
2-day
Milwaukee,
topic. Don't do that to me.
fuck's sake.
Can we time out on Bucks for a second?
I guess because I got more to say about Aaron Rodgers. We can go down that road.
I want to ask you before I'm going to get into Bucks. I'm excited to talk Bucks.
Yeah.
But at some point in this 30, 40 minutes, I'm going to talk about Rodgers. And since you're here, we might as well just make it now.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
The thing that I said was, as long as nobody talks about anything, it won't be a story. But then Rodgers has to do his appearance with McAfee. He can't not do it. And then the same thing that he does every offseason. Oh, it's up to them. I don't know if I'm wanted. You're always wanted. That's the Packers' problem, is they can't quit you. And then this guy's talking about, and I don't want to get it out of context because the Rodgers defenders are out there, but I don't want any answer to talk about where you can win another MVP. I want it to be where you can win a Super Bowl. I don't want to get too much into it because I've talked way too much about Rodgers. That I will agree with Jerry with. But this motherfucker coming out here, it's just stop already.
Tell me he didn't just like expose himself when what you want to talk about is MVPs and not, well, let's try to bring this, but what do we need to do to win a championship? Like,
well, he's not going to catch anyone in Super Bowls, so I guess one more MVP is what he wants.
Honestly, I'm right there with you, Bart. Like, I don't give a fuck about MVP. When I was a kid, when Brett Favre won it 3 times, I was like, yeah, that's great because, what did I know? But honestly, the act is so tired. Like, just hearing in the same sentence, Aaron Rodgers, Pat McAfee, like, I balled up my fist and I just, like, had the urge to punch something. And, like, I was talking about this earlier because I have a couple friends. We always talk draft. I'm huge into the draft. And they're like, well, what do you think they'll get for Rodgers if they trade him? I think they'll get a 1 and a 3. And I'm like, there's no fucking chance in hell anybody's giving a 1 for Aaron Rodgers at this point. Anybody that watched him in that last stretch, like, they're going to get much closer to the Brett Favre return than what, a 1 and a 3 and all that BS. Like, honestly, I don't know whose call it was, whether it was Gutekunst. I think it was probably Murphy. But whoever made the decision to not deal him to Denver last year and take that Herschel Walker type haul, and then to compound that, you turn around and put the exclamation point by giving Aaron Rodgers the least team-friendly contract in the history of pro sports. They should be arrested and tried for their crimes. Maybe executed too. Like, I want off the ride, Bart. Can we get shirts? Get me off the ride.
Yeah, I'll make some shirts. I want off this ride.
I think it would be great if it was like, the teacups or something. And like, it's just a guy looking miserable next to Rodgers who's just smiling. Like, that would be a great shirt. Can I please get off this fucking ride?
Jake, good to see you, buddy.
I needed that. So yes, it's great to see you too, my friend.
You're making a lot of friends on here.
Where is everybody?
They're all dancing in the comments.
Is it too late? I mean, what the hell?
What's going on? I got Q right here. What's up, Q?
Q.
What's going on?
My only comment on Rodgers is that he is consistently all about himself.
Yep.
Like he's so far removed from reality that like it's not watchable. So.
All right. Well, I'm good on that. I got that out of my chest. I think we all did. We had to say something, but
yeah,
all it was all day is people. It's like, and now Ike Packers wants Joe Lombardi. Get these guys off the internet.
You know what's fun about Pat McAfee? He literally like moans in the background when Rodgers is talking. He's like,
oh yeah. When Aaron says something cocky, he's just like, oh yeah. Oh God, give it to me, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure like we need to do like a hand check on McAfee because he's like jerking himself off under his desk while Rodgers talks. So, which honestly, more power to him. Like he got him $100 million contract almost single-handedly. So, if anybody gets me $100 million, I will do something similar. Anyways,
Yes, Bucks beat the Raptors. Jake, if you want to hang for a few, it's your life.
Yeah, because I want to talk about Miss Middleton a little bit more. So
I was hoping for like a positive Bucks one today.
37 points from Drew Holiday, and you want to talk about Chris? Did you read the article from Eric Name?
I heard the bullet points, and it just was nauseating to me. Like, clearly this guy's checked out. He doesn't give a shit. Like,
where are you getting that? Middleton?
Are you an NBA fan? Like, do you know how this works?
I know exactly how this works. This guy wants his
I
next
think
contract.
the people that think that I'm crazy about like Rodgers, they must listen to me like I listen to Jake about Middleton.
Well, okay, hold on.
Like,
how
now
many
you're saying
years
he's
straight?
checked out?
How many years straight do we have to see Middleton show up a fat ass that, like, you know, he's sweating bullets 10 seconds into the game, and then he always has the slow start because, again, he's just like in, 60% mode. Like, I'm sorry, you're a professional, you're paid. Like, maybe you should, like, I thought maybe some of that Giannis mentality would rub off on him, but he doesn't give a shit.
Let's take a step back. So he showed up out of shape last year, having played in the finals and then flying like right away to the Olympics.
So that's 1 year. I'll give you that. And
but you honestly, just said 5 straight years.
He shouldn't have played in those Olympics. Drew Holiday too. I mean, if you go that deep into a finals run, I think you're kind of asking for it by
you
playing
loved
in
America, Jake.
Yeah,
because
I'd play for my country.
Come on, that's like beginning a video game championship at this point. Getting a gold medal. Who cares? Freaking. Again, that's like running games at 60%. You're playing these guys from like,
Spain's good now.
Angola and fucking, Spain. They're just like running, sprinting their hearts out. And the American players are just kind of like, little pickup ball, throw it back and forth.
Can I get us back on track?
Yeah.
So Grayson Allen, 23 points, 4 of 5 from 3. Joe
Jake,
Ingles.
who's on your shirt?
Oh, sorry. That's Conrad. Conrad, if you're a wrestling fan, he's called the Podfather because he hosts like 7 of my favorite wrestling podcasts. So shout out.
Shout out, Conrad.
Yeah. Conrad Thompson.
CT.
Well,
All right. I am going to focus on Q now, so I'm going to say goodbye to you, Jake.
All right. Yeah. I just want to say in my defense, one last thing. It's not crazy that I don't want to give Chris Middleton $50 million a year at 33 years old, considering he's fucking hurt every year and he's a pussy and he's out of shape and he's a fat ass. I love you guys. Bye.
Now, having a conversation about Middleton and what's next is different from being mad that he sweats. Take it from a sweater. Let me tell you a quick story, Q, to get it way off track.
All right.
First day of 8th grade, we had our orientation or whatever, and I wore a green Adidas shirt. And I was sweating from this pit and sweating from this pit. And I had pit sweat. But then the pit sweat ended up encompassing almost all over my shoulder blade, almost so that there was only just a slight river in the middle of my chest that was not sweat. I was drenched. And the girl next to me is like, does something stink? And I'm trying to like cover up my it looked like I got thrown in a dunk tank.
So was this pre-deodorant, Bart?
No, I've been using. I've had I speak for the voiceless because I've had sweat gland issues. I did a prescription thing for a while, and then I tried this Mitchum stuff, and then for a while I was saran wrapping the paper towel under my armpits to soak it up throughout the day. It was pretty bad. It's kind of coming back, actually. So just, if there's someone out there and you see a pit stain, I might have one right now.
So
no, thank God. Anyway, Grayson Allen, 25.
So I'm a sweaty guy myself, and I switched to like more natural deodorant.
I tried this bullshit called Native.
And like the Dr. Squash or whatever it is, that stuff works for me. The Sasquatch stuff. So
Josh wants me to know that I look like a short Ingalls. Yeah, like an Ingalls Bud Love child is kind of where I reside.
Joe Ingles, 2 for 3 from behind the arc today. Had that huge stop in the fourth quarter. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him. Like, I think it's been a slow start to the season, obviously coming back from injury, but it'll be exciting to see him contribute in the playoffs. And I hope that the 19 minutes from Jordan Nwora today was us showcasing him for a trade, because he does not deserve that much time, no matter how injury riddled the team is. So
I don't feel like, when's the last time a team like actually showcased someone for a trade? I feel like that's a thing we say a lot, but never really occurs. You know what I mean?
I think it's wishful thinking. If you have to showcase someone, it means they're not a real piece.
Like, we're showcasing it for a trade, but then that just gives them more opportunity to be bad and untradeable.
Well, I mean,
Ryan says Jordan hurts his trade value every time he steps a foot on the court.
I thought he had an okay game yesterday. I think he had like 6 rebounds, but
Nwara's tough. Nwara's like all these guys that, like, you know, like a Sterling Brown, like, and they're totally different, but like Thon, there'd be some nights where Thon would be like, he would do something where like, okay, if you can harness that. And Nwara, I think he had a nice block, and he makes some big shots, and it's like, all right, if you can harness whatever's here, but then there's like 4 more plays that are stupid.
Yeah, like
or just doesn't look like he's good at the sport he's trying to play. I think where a lot of people were mad online is because Beauchamp didn't play and Nwara did. Beauchamp went up and practiced with the Herd today, so maybe, I don't know. Him and Middleton practiced with the Herd. I don't know if that was part of it. Yeah, but then what team is like acquiring Nwara?
I mean, so the promise that he had, I think he averaged like 20 points in the Olympics, which,
yeah, like, he was good in the Olympics, but he was like the only guy that shot for them.
Yeah, but that,
if anyone knows Nigerian basketball, it's me. My brother, actually, this is true, worked on their PR staff because Mike Brown was their head coach, and he's with the Warriors at the time.
Nice.
So in the tournament where they beat USA in Vegas, yeah. And I got a lot of pictures from the inside of the White House today. The Warriors were there.
Nice.
Well, that was
Did
cool.
you anything of note happen in that visit?
They found more documents. There's some tucked under his chair. They actually wrote his name tag on the chair on the back of a classified document.
Yeah, I haven't seen any footage of that. I feel like anytime Draymond's anywhere, anything could happen. So,
oh, Draymond made a funny. He said he thinks Steph could be president someday. And then they said, well, what would you want to be? And he said, wait for it, Secretary of Defense. Secretary of Defense.
Because he's good at defense. I get it.
Because he's a defense. Speaking of good at defense, we really haven't touched on this yet. I'll keep you here for it. But Brook Lopez, who had a quiet start to the game, I know because I captained him in DraftKings. I did not win tonight as he was ejected on a play where it looked like him, and all of a sudden Drew's like playing the game, and then Trent and Brook are like hugging each other. It looked like Gary Trent Jr. initiated the embrace. I could be looking at that with Buck's eyes. Either way, it happened for 3 seconds longer than Brook wanted. So he took the headband off, and then, you know, more things ensued. Brook was pretty pissed, got 2 technicals on that exchange, and he was having a really good second half. And so in a night where Drew had 2 fouls early and then another 2 to start the second, all of a sudden you're like worried about Drew's fouls. Here's Brook. This gets tossed out of the game on one play, to the massive cheers of the Pfizer faithful.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it looked like you said Trent Jr. had him locked up, because Brook had an arm free and was like still trying to pull away, and then he snatched the headband off. So I don't know. I don't understand the double tech to kick him out. It seemed like the TNT announcers thought it should be one technical and then one, what did they call it? Like an aggressive act, which
Hostile act.
hostile act. Yeah.
Oh, I was watching the game on Bally, and then I saw, because I forgot it was on TNT, but then at the end of the second half, I saw them do an advertisement on the scoreboard for like Shaq's big podcast. And I was like, why would they advertise that? I go, this game's on TNT. As fast as I could. Got BA on the call. That was good.
Yeah, BA did great. But then I don't know I guess you didn't watch pregame or halftime on TNT.
Well, I saw the halftime. You don't like that guy?
Well, it was Shaq and then like the C squad.
That's
like,
what they do on Tuesdays.
I guess I haven't watched a TNT halftime with the C squad because it was bad.
Yeah, that's their Tuesday crew. And they do like NBA TV stuff.
Who should like that is Chuck, because it makes you see that Chuck is worth every cent that they have spent on him. Because that was like
Freeman?
Charles Barkley.
Barkley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Chuck Freeman would have made that cast look, it would have brought up the quality of that television. So
Adam says, why the hell were fans cheering Brook's ejection?
I think they were just cheering that Brook got animated. Because after he got ejected, he was screaming again. Like
how we cheer when Council gets ejected.
Yeah.
And after that, I mean, the Bucks, Drew started really making some shots. Drew was amazing tonight.
Drew and Grayson had an incredible second half. Like I think he had 18 in the second half.
He was very good.
I mean,
yeah, he had a big third quarter.
I don't really want to trade Grayson, but a game like today would really improve his value. So.
I was thinking about this during the game. Like, it started with Brook Lopez, and I still think we undervalue him. We do. We have Giannis, Middleton, Drew, Lopez. All this stuff about how he changed his game and adapted and stuff, but he is not young, and he is out there. He's 34 years old, and he's busting it every night. He's playing good-sized minutes. He's doing so well defensively. He wants to be Defensive Player of the Year. He could be an All-Star, should be an All-Star. And that's just a guy that they acquired, when nobody knew what to do with big men. They get Bobby Portis along the way. Connaughton has been good. Grayson Allen, remember, that could be Sam Merrill. Sam Merrill was never going to get you 25 points in the game. Javon Carter gets cut by the Nets. We get him. Joe Ingles, we scoop him up. So I think that even though, like, they're old, and Bud was talking about the depth the other day, there's a lot of good guys, affordable guys when they got here. And I think John Horst has done a really good job of building that. I just wish, like, the one draft pick he finally hit on in Beauchamp would actually get to see some time. And if he did go to the Herd and practice, well, then don't send him up there. We need you here, especially if you know that Middleton and Giannis aren't going to play. I don't know. I think that if I'm Beauchamp, I mean, yes, I'm a rookie, but I'm getting frustrated with, like, what do I have to do? I play a good game, and then I just don't see the floor for games at a time. Like, what do you need me to do when I'm out there? And I don't think there is an answer, because I think Bud's just going to be – it's almost like he's getting hazed in some way.
Yeah, and Eric Name had a quote from Bud about that before the game, and Bud said something along the lines of, young players, we watch their minutes, but also sometimes they need to work more in the gym or work more in practice. So I don't know if something behind the scenes is going on with Beauchamp or not. So, but
I think what's behind the scenes is that Bud sucks.
I don't know. I trust in Bud. I have doubted him in the past and was on the fire Bud bandwagon when you were putting up chairs. But I trust the man. But back to your questions on Brook. I was thinking about this the other day. has Brook Lopez done enough to get his jersey retired?
I was thinking about that during the game too. I mean, if they win another finals, they're all getting retired.
So, and I looked it up. So there are 5 players from the 71 championship team that got retired. So, and I mean, it's pretty clear that like Giannis will get retired. Despite Jake's take, like Middleton will get retired. And then it's kind of debatable about Drew because he hasn't been here that long. But I think his contributions were big enough in that season that he probably would get retired too. The next person up would be Brook Lopez.
Yeah, I think if they win it, I mean, if you win another one, then we're going to start asking about like Bobby and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think if they win another one with this core roster, Bobby would definitely be there.
I do like how we always talk about numbers being retired. I think if this podcast is going to carve out a niche in anything, it's going to be the show where we talk about numbers being retired. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that because I love the science behind retired numbers. I also love how some teams have really dumb retired numbers. Like 23 in Miami is retired for Michael Jordan. And that's why LeBron couldn't have it. So they gave him 6. Yet they retired 13 for Dan Marino. The Heat did, but still give it out. But 13's in the rafters at FTX Arena. That's why I don't like Jerry Rice and Peyton Manning. 18 was retired in Denver, and 80 was retired in Seattle. And then Jerry Rice called Steve Largent and said, "Hey, I want to wear 80." And Steve's like, "Well, shit, I'm a congressman. I'm not going to say no to Jerry Rice." And then the Broncos guy was some guy from like the 40s, and Peyton Manning called his like 9-year-old widow and said, who knows what he said to her? He probably tilted her head up and down to say yes. Sicko.
He probably sent her a bunch of Papa Johns.
Oh yeah, that too. All right, Q, anything else?
That's all I got for tonight. But good Bucks win, and hopefully we're silencing some more haters.
Silence them haters.
Have a good night, Bart.
See you, Q. You too. StreamYard link is on in the comments, also on Twitter. If anyone wants to join, I do see that the Badger game is coming to a close. This podcast has not broken down too many Badger games and too many Marquette games. Penn State with a shot at the buzzer misses, so the Badgers are going to win. The reason I was more interested in this than any other one was because Tim Shea's at the game. Tim Shea did a Panther game, he did a Bucks game, and now he's doing a Badger game. Look at that guy. What a monster. 63-60, the final on that one. People are getting a little nervous about the Badgers because they were losing a bunch in a row. The Badgers have already done enough to be in the tournament. And isn't that what matters? Isn't that what matters? The Badgers got in. Marquette got in. I mean, the Badgers aren't going to lose out the rest of the way. I don't know. You want to talk about regular season and whether it matters or not. Some of this college stuff. I can't be the guy that gets into Badgers Penn State. I just can't do it. Like I'm mad I even looked at the phone. Come March Madness, I'll go crazy for them. And also, if they play Milwaukee, though, I will root for Milwaukee. More comments coming in. Logan says Brook will end his career with more career points than Blake Griffin. All right. Adam says Grayson, Pat, and Ingles all had 30 minutes and we won. Why is everyone questioning this team? I thought Trey Crosby had a nice tweet about it. Someone's like, why are people so mad about the Bucks? So, and he's like, there's a weird contingency of Bucks fans that are acting as if this is the worst seed team ever. There's a weird contingency of Bucks fans that are acting as if we're fighting for a lottery pick, or we're bad, or I don't know what the situation is. But there's a weird, and I don't know if that's a vocal minority. I don't know if that's what I've learned along the way is Twitter is this giant space, and this is where I get a lot of the reaction from. And here on this and with you guys and whatever. But Twitter is what I get a lot of reaction from. And starting on the radio, we use Twitter pretty heavily, and I'd get in these fights on Twitter and all this stuff, and I'd argue with these fans, and I'd argue with them. And what I realized was a lot of the people that I'm arguing with are kids. After the Brewers lost in 2018, I'm hammered arguing with this girl. She was like 17, being like, oh, I just love my Brewers so much. And I'm like, shut up. They suck. You'll never be here again. And she's like, who is this guy? And the Bucks. Oh my God, the Bucks. There's some of these people I'm arguing with, or that are trying to like create the discourse. They didn't know the Bucks until Giannis was on the team. So I just got to be careful of that. Joe is in Iowa. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Bart.
Joe, we could talk Bucks, but I got to talk to you about your weekend first.
Yeah, do it.
Joe sends me a DM on Sunday.
Easy. I've got my son in the room.
Okay. That he is at the Minnesota Vikings game. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, true story.
You're in Iowa. It's close, I guess.
It's close.
There was some bachelor party that turned in, or a friend's weekend, or what happened?
So this started 2 years ago in the pandemic. We went up to that Packers playoff game that nobody could go to, Seattle. Just rented a house in Green Bay, just me and a couple guys, and just watched Wild Card Weekend, and it was pretty amazing. Just had a great time. And so we've done that now the last couple of years. And so this weekend we did Minneapolis. A few of us, like, there's probably 10 guys there. Only 4 of us went to the game, but it was, my buddy works for the Star Tribune and's got connections to the team and got tickets for like $50. So we're like, yeah, I'll go and watch the Vikings lose. This is amazing. So it was wonderful. I'm sitting there and just like pure joy. Was like really disappointing because when the game was over, nobody cared. Everybody just expected it. It was just like, yeah, well, that's kind of how we expected that to go, and just walked off. I was trying to picture myself if that was me at Lambeau and that had happened to the Packers, I would just be like comatose. You'd have to drag me out of that stadium.
So because the last thing I heard from you was like, this sucks because it was pregame hype, and you're around 80,000 Vikings fans.
Yeah,
man, to randomly be at that game.
It was pretty
Did you like cheer, or were you like well behaved?
So my buddy that I took with is going through like a bunch of life stuff, and he's a big Vikings fan. So I tried to like keep it pretty level. But
how did he deal with the loss?
He did okay. He was fine.
Okay.
I actually I'll send you a photo. You can retweet it. He's not on Twitter. I'll show you what he looked like after the game in all of his Vikings sweatshirt glory on the couch, completely asleep.
So you walked out and everyone was just cool with it.
Yeah, it was like a preseason game, and like that was tied 21-21, and it was just like, oh well, there's always like, whatever.
Jeez.
So
you got anything about the Bucks?
I didn't watch the Bucks because I was watching Iowa State beat Texas, and pride of Racine, Wisconsin, Tyrese Hunter, who like devastated the Cyclones by leaving after his freshman year. But what I have to say about that is great. When they introduced him tonight, the Iowa State student section threw up a bunch of Monopoly money in response to his NIL contract that he got from Texas. So that was pretty great. My one Bucks take for the night is
Iowa State good?
Yeah, man. They're 12 and they just beat 7. They lost to Kansas by 2 on Saturday. So they're pretty good. Sneaky good. Big 12's tough, man.
Yeah, again, I'm major deficiency for me. College regular season hoops. Yeah. Big sore spot for me.
The one thing I'll say about the Bucks, and I agree with you, is like all these people that are like saying that this this season is garbage and this team is garbage. I mean, it's mid-January. You know, it sucks that Giannis hasn't played 4 games, but we're all getting to a point where, you know, everybody's just loading up for the end of the season and the playoffs. And I'm fine with that. You know, we stay in that 2-3 seed zone. I'm good.
Well, your boy Brock Purdy this weekend, big game. I like the Cowboys.
After last night, they looked pretty good last night. So
I like your living room.
thank you.
I like the wall.
Thanks. My wife painted that a couple months ago.
Yeah. Tell her
Jesus
good job.
dining room. So
I like it. I like the lamp. I like the bookshelves.
that lamp's pretty good, right?
I like the whole vibe. It's not like mine. I got a grand piano and it's always light out. So, hi.
It's Jackson.
All right, Joe. Well, glad you had fun at the game.
Yeah. Hey, maybe next year we can catch a Packers game together.
I will love to go.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds like my son woke up, so I should probably take care of that.
Yeah, I don't think my son ever went to bed yet, and my wife's. I feel bad for her. All right.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right, Joe. See ya. Bye. Joe randomly winds up at the Vikings playoff game and then gets to see them lose. Would you rather go to Lambeau and see the Packers win or go to US Bank Stadium? Vincent, if Vincent's really in the chat, get your ass on here. I will love to go. That is what I said. I did have one more, since we were talking a little bit about going to these games and who's playing and who's not. I did get a voicemail today on that topic. The Carl's Place voicemail line, 402-915-BART, 402-915-BART. This is from Jeff.
Bart, it's Jeff in Milwaukee. I got a take probably you won't like because you have kids. But before I get to that, I went out into my car so my dogs don't bark, heaven forbid. I have a little noise in the background. But I'm tired of all these whiners about, oh, I didn't get to see Giannis. I paid good money. Oh, my family. Don't have fucking kids if you don't pay for it. And, maybe support the team. It's not like the Packers. There's 80-some games, however many games. There's not, 17 games where you only can go once or twice. I get it. It's expensive. But you have ample opportunity to see the superstars and maybe just enjoy seeing some of the other players. They don't care about you people with your kids. All right.
Oh.
That's it.
No, okay, that's fine. That's how I used to be with the Brewers. I'd say, go to these games. You guys would tell me, we have kids. You have a lot of we have school the next day. I'd say, screw school. My thing with the Bucks is my kid goes to bed at 7 o'clock. I need a day game. Okay? I need a day game. I'm going to play also. If I don't, do I have permission to do this? I don't know. If I'm not, I'll find out. Zora caught up with Brook Lopez in the locker room.
Get it right if they're not going to.
From your vantage point, as you're just walking back to the locker room, though, what had you most frustrated?
I don't know. I can't expect the refs to get it right if they're not going to get it right during the game. Why are they going to get it right when they replay it or any other calls, It's what it is, I make mistakes. You make mistakes. Eric makes less mistakes than us probably, but they make mistakes too. They made mistakes tonight. And it's what it is, They're human. They're fallible. Even with the help of replay, they still have a tough time. So it's cool. It's what it is.
Did you watch the rest of the game in here?
I did. It was fun. Basketball's a fun game. How about that?
What do you think of the way the guys closed it out?
I thought Joe played so well at the end of the game. He got some stops, did some stuff offensively, I think. He was so good, just so positive. That's the main takeaway. Very positive for our team.
Joe is also standing right here, correct?
Yes, he is. Yeah, so, there's some pressure, but, I'm going to be a good guy anyway. Take the high road.
Just ask them why. Tell them you got dog fur on you, cat fur on you. Just ask. They just want to know what happened to Gary Trent's headband. That's all they want to know.
Yeah?
Oh, it's Joe Engel.
Do you answer Joe's questions or you just ignore them?
Should I answer Joe's question? just driving me so insane. I had to do something. It was talking to me.
All right. So there's Brook Lopez, who actually ended up sounding a lot like Joey Bosa, which I don't like. Joey Bosa was like, oh, the refs probably laugh at me and say, oh, we got this guy with another one. But Brook went all in on the refs and then got mad. Austin's joining us.
Hey, Bart.
Austin.
What's going on, man?
You went to the game?
Yeah. I got won a raffle at work, got some free tickets. So I was,
Oh, nice. Did they were they like good tickets or were they like
yeah, we were
Larry David NBC curb tickets right in the nosebleeds?
like row 20.
Fair.
So it was good. Yeah, it was nice.
Not quite Tim Shea living, but pretty good.
Well,
Shea
no, I
courtside,
don't think anybody is gonna compete with Shea. I mean,
No.
that guy's getting job applications. He's got it all going.
He's the Scrooge McDuck around here.
Hey, man. So I wanted to talk about the Lopez ejection and the crowd cheering. So I saw the comment up on there.
Yeah, I just figured it's like when a manager gets ejected, you're fired up and you're like, thank you for caring, man.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what it was. And like, it wasn't like he had a really shitty night. You know, he had 19 points up and
Having a good second half.
yeah. And so when we were sitting down, there were people like walking, you know, down the aisle. So we couldn't really see the scrum. So my buddy had brought it up on Twitter and we saw him yank off the headband. We're like, okay, yeah, that's a T. That's a T. I don't know why he did that. Didn't have to do that. But I don't think the crowd saw that. They didn't put it on the Jumbotron or anything. But I think the crowd, I don't think anybody saw that. And I think that's why they were just cheering. They probably thought it was BS. But I don't think anyone noticed that.
Yeah, so I guess taking the headbands off is a technical.
Well, I mean it's kind of douchey. That's like you know, did you? I don't know if you ever played Halo, but like doing the dropping your on the person's face after you shoot them. I don't know.
No, I've not really played Halo. And just to update you all on the saga here. The Sega saga. I'm trying to set it up right there,
Oh hell yeah!
but I can't figure it out. I'm like missing a piece. So
Well,
I got this table at a yard sale for $2.
there you go. I don't know, dude. I do IT. Send me some pictures of the setup of what it is, and I'll let you know what you need to get.
I mean, I also have Google, but
Well, you could also Google. Yeah, you could try.
I'm trying to play because some of these games are like, I have this Turtles game that I have the case and the instructions. It's worth like $45.
Are we going back to the Sega?
No, but no.
Did you take some gummies?
No.
Okay. All right. So other thing, my buddy was telling me like he won't forget Pat Connaughton in Game 6 missing 4 threes. What are your thoughts on Connaughton sticking around on the team?
So we're just like, I haven't looked at stats or backed this up. I'll just tell you based on feel.
Yeah.
I'm more confident with Grayson Allen minutes than Pat Connaughton minutes.
I think kind of both are kind of shoddy.
Well, Grace, I don't know. I feel like Grayson had 25 tonight, and let me look at his numbers as of late. Because he was making offense for himself in the lane, in the paint. He's averaging 11 points a game this month. Okay. Let's look at Pat. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like Pat's averaging 10. So they almost do the same thing.
They do the same thing. And I'll tell you, so he was telling me that he wants them gone. And I was saying, well, here's the problem is they're not starters. They need to be coming off the bench. And right now you've had Middleton off for fuck knows how long. So I don't know if it was Grayson or Pat filling in for him, but it's one of the two. And then, Giannis has gone 4 games. So, but either way, neither of those two are starters. They are bench. Like you can go in the playoffs, go 7 people, maybe 8 people deep, and those would be 2 great ones off the bench. But there's no need that they should be starters.
Well, yeah. Don't they start Grayson though when they're like full?
And they shouldn't. They really shouldn't.
So you want to start Bobby or Javon or what?
I would say you could go, well, if you had mid, Giannis, Bobby,
Lopez and Drew.
Okay, right. So everybody that won the finals, there's your starting unit. And then you're pulling people off the bench as need be. I don't know. I still think that you need the people, and it's like regular season, so fine. But like when playoff time comes, like that needs to be your starting 5, and then you pull as need based on fouls or time.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they like Bobby because they like never start him unless they have to.
Yeah, and what's the point? Like, does Bud get some weird satisfaction out of that?
Well, he started tonight, but they're also down more guys.
Yeah, Beauchamp was whatever happened with the Herd. I don't know. He played for the Herd with Middleton.
He practiced with them today.
Yeah, whatever. But I don't know.
Eric Nain said before tonight's game, Bud said Marjan is available despite he did practice with the Herd. He has not played yet. Beauchamp didn't play last night either. Bud said something about it's one of the beauties of the depth of our roster. A lot of guys can help us. He's had good stretches.
A lot of guys can help us.
Yeah, a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Anything else for me?
No, I just wanted to check in and hop on since I went to the game and had some eyes on it.
Yeah.
Rather than like
you are a correspondent down at Pfizer.
Yeah, I should have brought a fork with me, but
Did you have any $20 drinks?
I had 3 $15 beers.
Oh.
So that was worth it.
Nice.
No. So I made sure to get the 24 ounces instead of the 20s.
Smart man.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Hey, man.
We'll talk.
It. You betcha.
Austin. See ya. Bucks now don't play until Saturday when they have the Cavs. Then against Detroit. Ugh. I say that because it's a Monday. I'll jump on. Denver should be coming here the 25th. That'd be the only time we get to see them. That'll be a good game. As long as everybody plays at Indiana. So there's some games coming up next week or so, kind of a slog, a lot of early games, a lot of Central Time games, West Coast trip coming up first week of February. And now I'm just like stalling to kill time, even though I don't have to. That's a radio. It's a radio thing. Speaking of radio, I will be on the radio on Saturday from 4 to 9 p.m. on CBS Sports Radio, affiliates all over this great land, including WSSP, where I get to go back to my old building and do radio for the entire country. But yet, ESPN Milwaukee airs Greeny from noon to 2. Figure that one out. Tomorrow's show, Thursday's show, will be Paul Emig and Grant Bills, and then Friday's show will be Horvat and the Picks. Chuck says, Bucks don't play until Saturday. What will you talk about until then? Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I told you, this guy sucks. He's talking about his future. He's talking about MVPs he can win and not the Super Bowl. What more do you need? What more do you need? All right, that'll do it for tonight's show. Thank you for hopping on. Tell your friends, like and subscribe. HappyPlaceHemp.com, promo code BART.